New world, new enemies to slaughter, new allies, but more blood and lead. Issei Hyoudou Blazkowicz will arrive in this new universe to continue massacring and destroy the demons. And learn the true fate of him and avenge his fallen brothers in arms and parents. Issei as Doomslayer, Gore, Humor and Lemon. Rip and Tear. 1. Who am I? Second fanfic. I am a big fan of Doom, to be honest. Games like Doom, Halo, Marathon, Wolfenstein and among others were a big part of my childhood, and I have only seen like 4 crossover fanfics of High School DxD with Doom. I got the idea to make one, in Spanish since it is my mother tongue and to be honest I am bad at English. Note. This fanfic has the 6 Dooms, Doom, Doom 2, Doom 64 Doom 3, Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil and Doom 2016. And also the first Wolfenstein games all related to each other as a historical chronology starting with Wolfenstein type Doom and having Issei as the new Doomslayer. How is that possible? With this beginning we will see. Boy talking. Fuck you, thinking. Issei, ghost, divine, interdimensional, astral or demonic being mentally speaking. Many people see hell in different ways, varying by religion or personal belief. But hell is much worse than religion tells it, much sicker and darker, where demons live and desire one simple thing. The earth. Driven by their hunger for human flesh, their bloody rituals and beliefs if they have any, they have destroyed all forms of intelligent life in the universe, making them stronger, more intelligent and having new technologies and weapons. The only one that has been able to resist in an incredible way has been the human race. On 6 occasions the demons invaded the solar system but the humans managed it and returned them to their home from these abominable beings. These achievements are not due to religion, but because of the knowledge of humans and their technology that even though demons possess magic, powers and technologies advanced in centuries, they always underestimate the enemy. But that is not the only reason humans have won. There is a human race that has repelled them, due to their great power. No one even knows about them. William Joseph Blazkowicz's face appears first. The first of the new era, the one that ended the Nazis and the New World Order, and the first to chase away the demons. It looks like Blazkowicz with the Spear of Destiny while Harbinger without an arm and leg says that his descendants will pay as he goes back to hell again. Then he is next to Anya carrying a baby in his while they smile at the destroyed Nazi flag in the background and humanity experiences freedom again. Decades later his next descendant the face of the Marine from Doom 3 and later aged in the Resurrection of Evil with the name of John Kane. Note. For me personally it is the same as Doom 3. The Resurrection of Evil, only years bigger. An older John is seen leaving a hospital while holding hands with a beautiful 28-year-old woman, both holding hands with a 6-year-old girl. The penultimate one before the current one the face of the protagonist of Doom and Doom 2 with the name John. Note. Since I have investigated and no one knows his name, he is only called John. He is seen hugging a 30-year-old woman with beautiful Asian features while she holds a small boy with brown hair and brown eyes, the latest and current demon slayer, in her arms. Issei Hyoudou Blazkowicz he is seen with a serious face of about 40 years old, a scar on his right cheek and another near his eye, with a slight chain beard and wearing the Predator suit or Predator suit. Current time the Doomslayer had finished the invasion of Mars and closed the portal but there was, floating on a teleporter in front of him was director Samuel Hayden while the Doomslayer was floating in front of him. Samuel finally spoke. You did it, you stopped the invasion, this is over, but this has had a great price for Argent, Vega this operation. Let's get ahead of your boring words, since a few seconds of this ending was a bit boring. Look, I'm not the villain of the story. I need to continue my work. I do what I do because there is no other option. Samuel said while the Doom Slayer just stared at him without saying anything. I can't kill you, but I don't want to have you near me. I hope we meet again as he left with the crucible. Doom Slayer only wanted to crush his damn cyborg head on the floor and finish him off. In that artifact it was more than a sword. Rather than an organic device that consumes demon energy, there are the souls of the Night Sentinels, his brothers in arms with whom he had fought alongside them several decades ago in Hell. I just watched him leave while the voice said re-establishing new teleportation coordinates. He moved his limbs, managing to free himself from the magnetic grip of the energy field. He ran toward Samuel, destroying his arms and then picked him up in his arms and slammed him to the floor. He took the crucible, keeping it and ended with Samuel crushing his head, letting out metal and blood and pieces of brain. The crucible would be the end of humanity if it fell into the wrong hands and furthermore, he wanted to fulfill a promise he had made a long time ago. before spending who knows how many years in that stone coffin, returning them to life in flesh and blood and soul. He ran towards the teleport, ready to go wherever he had to go. Whether it was hell again, Earth, or who knows what place. Behind the visor were the brown eyes of our beloved brown man, now grown up. System failure, said the robotic voice in charge of Mars City. Attention, teleportation anomaly. After that, Doom Slayer or Issei only saw a great brightness to see nothing but darkness. He could see at least his body, as if floating in some anomaly. His HUD did not tell him anything, neither coordinates nor data or map. Nothing, only his ammunition, armor, health and weapons, plus the information he had, but nothing of this dark void. When he saw a large hole of colossal sizes, enough for an entire thick building to pass through, to see a dragon of more colossal dimensions, having bright yellow eyes, a long red tail and red wings. The underside of its body was a creamy white. The information obtained from his helmet said that that thing had a dimension of 1 kilometer long and 300 meters wide. For Doom Slayer or Issei had not seen such a large creature. The most giant demon he has faced was a mega spider mastermind of 80 meters high, armed with an explosive plasma machine gun, taking several hours to finish. And furthermore, he could see a little girl around 9 years old standing in front of him, without knowing how she could get closer without him noticing, wearing black clothing, perhaps a gothic type, with some X's in there. Yes. She said some words, smiling, some that she couldn't understand. To see everything shine brightly again and feel great pain in every part of her body, she screamed but couldn't. One so agonizing, something was happening to her body. DXD Universe, Japan, city of Kuoh, Gremory territory. Occult club building. Afternoon schedule. Rias was looking at some papers. It was about the contracts made by his servants. Everything was going well when he felt it, a distant, strong, powerful and monstrous aura that accompanied him with something horrendous. He opened the windows to be able to see the school buildings. And some others outside the school. It was in Kuoh somewhere, but she didn't know where. So much energy, when a female voice spoke behind her. Era Bucko felt that, said a woman we know, none other than Akano. Yes, Akano, that aura, the way it appeared, was not a magic circle. It was just a dimensional gap. But the only ones who can are the Great Red Ophis, she said with concern. Era, it seems that the president will hunt him down, isn't it? Said Akano, smiling. Akano. Call the others, tell them that we will be around all night without rest. Also tell Sona and her entourage that we will need help, she said and whispered, and maybe, I'll put it to whoever it is, my entourage. She smiled after saying that. Elsewhere in Kuoh, Doom Slayer was waking up to be alert and take out his shotgun in less than a second. He looked around him. It was not hell, he was still alive. The place was a place full of trees with mountains. To see a city in the distance. His HUD was collecting information, but he decided after a few seconds to remove his helmet. He took it off and could see the place that he could describe as beautiful. He took a big breath of the fresh, pure and clean air, revealing their faces, obviously Issei, but already I told them how it is. Looking at his reflection in a small puddle of water. He could see his face, his scars, his brown hair and brown eyes, but he saw something that he barely noticed. He looked younger, 43 years old, only 19 years. What the hell happened to me? Issei said with a somewhat serious, cold and a little hoarse young voice. Seeing that his scars are still there, his chain beard is still there, but his age was young. A boy again. He heard a sound in the trees, putting on his helmet and pointing only to see a bird in red. Maybe a canary. The bird saw him and sang to him. Issei was under guard to be able to see and admire that bird. Decades since he had seen an animal, anything other than demons, imps, pinkies, and more demons. The bird flew away to an unknown direction. Issei could see the HUD on his helmet. He couldn't believe the current date of this place. It was the beginning of 2017 Japan. The city of Kuoh. He just stared at the date in his HUD in disbelief. To be continue. Well, readers, leave review and follow this fanfic so you can continue reading this story. Ch1 of 24 next, 2. New beginning. Here comes the second chapter. Enjoy it and please, I would appreciate a review. Spending a few seconds looking at the date, he began to rethink and analyze his situation. He just a few minutes ago killed Samuel Hayden's dam. He had entered a void, perhaps a rupture of spacetime or the void, and it seems that he had been transported here to Japan at the beginning of the 21st century by a girl with possibly Gothic-style clothing. He went to the past. To a dimension or maybe another universe. He began to walk and think with a clear mind. In all he was screwed, since not only was there not even the slightest possibility of returning to his time, but seeing the theory of the other universe he felt a little better. Demons are not capable of making portals to other universes, only wormholes or teleportations from one planet to another. Doom Slayer checked his HUD at his arsenal, which was complete and well oversupplied with ammunition and weapons. But for the moment he didn't worry about that and needed to see another topic: where to spend the night. I must wait until nightfall so I can go through the streets without attracting attention. He knew that if he went right now at 6:57 in the afternoon he could not still go through the streets, since his armor would give him away and the police most likely looking for him was the least he wanted. He stood contemplating the city sitting on the grass, the city of Kuoh, a small but large and populated city in the country of Nippon. Kuoh 8:19 at night. You can see our beloved Demon Slayer advancing tactically in the streets carrying his combat shotgun, taking care to be as fast as possible but at the same time silent. Advance carefully first before. In addition to where to spend the night, I needed information about this city called Kuoh. Continue advancing through the streets to enter an illuminated area of the city. A box that said, brochures and maps of the city, take one free. Doomslayer opened it and took one out, moving away from the place as much as possible. He continues advancing to an area of houses, sees a police patrol passing by, takes cover, waits 20 seconds to look up and sees the patrol go down another street calmly. Continues moving forward to look for a safe place to scan the map. Finds a children's park without people. He sees a place to sit a few meters away, places the map there and unfolds it while the scanning system of his suit does its job, and that's it. Now another missing issue. Feeding. He knows well that he can last up to 6 days without eating, just drinking water, but this was not the case. On the other hand, his appetite asked for something other than that horrendous meat. Demons had an ugly taste, but it was the right thing to do. The only thing to eat in hell. He kept the map unfolded and his portable map indicated that there was a gas station with a 24-hour store 300 meters away. He made up his mind and moved forward into the quiet night of Kuoh. In another part of the city, Rias could be seen walking through the streets looking for something, accompanied by a little girl with short white hair, white skin and yellow eyes, dressed as a Kuoh Academy student. "Bucko, do you think we'll find whoever that human is?" she asked with an expressionless face, watching Rias. "I hope so, Kaneko." Her distant aura was monstrous and strong. "Being human," said the redhead. After walking for a while, they stayed at one point. The two of them waited to see two more people arrive. A Kano and a boy with blonde hair, good skin and blue eyes. "Bucko, we didn't find anything," the blonde said with a smile. "Rias, there is nothing, maybe that guy is somewhere else." Rias sighs, a little disappointed, to open a magic circle of communication and talk to Sona. Nothing. Apparently the guy was very good at hiding. The four present decided to continue searching together now. Returning to Doomslayer. Doomslayer was looking several meters away at a gas station with an open food store. Inside his helmet, using the scanning mode to analyze the security of the establishment. It took him several seconds to be ready and see that there were two cameras outside the station, one to the recharging area and another at the entrance of the store, and three more inside the store. Starting temporary hacking system. Doomslayer said internally to see that in his HUD it started in the waiting system to start hacking. Inside the little store that had sections from sabritas to fast food, displays of drinks, dairy products, beers, ice and soft drinks, there was a man asleep at the checkout with his cap on his head. Next to it was a screen with security cameras, each changing zones every 10 seconds to start having full distortion. A giant green metal was seen at the entrance. The man, or rather employee, was still asleep. Doomslayer was with his shotgun ready to see in the box and lowers the weapon when he sees the sleeping employee. He decides to put his weapon away, enter the collection area and look for something, plastic bags to put water bottles in the bags of a liter, chewing gum, chocolate bars, and then calmly head to the fast food area, looking in the cold area from instant hamburgers, hot dogs, Japanese food, soups. Maruchan was hungry. He checked his time, it still said 23 minutes left. He grabbed a hamburger, put it in the microwave and prepared the time that the instructions for the frozen hamburger said. He grabbed an apple-flavored soda from the display cases. He took off his helmet so he could see himself in the large mirrors. Doomslayer. "Pav, I didn't think I would look so young. There are still my battle scars from years ago on my face. I must admit that getting younger at 19 years old, I don't look bad and my chain-type beard looks good, but it is better to be shaved." I uncover the soda to savor the bubbly flavor of the soda. The microwave beeps now, the burger is ready. "Who was that girl? I asked myself third-person narration again. Doomslayer starts eating his burger and enjoying this beautiful flavor for his palates. Minutes later he finishes and puts the remains in an empty bag and the already consumed soda. She gets ready and leaves with the bags quickly while the employee looked like a Snorlax. After a few hours he finds an abandoned apartment building. He enters to go up some levels. Arriving at the room, he enters a room all in pieces and with graffiti. He leaves the bags and begins to see the place. There was a mattress that was all worn out and old but resistant to spend the night. He takes off his helmet again to start taking one of the bottles of water, and after several minutes he covers the entrance. Riddled with holes with a sofa all scratched. He threw himself on the mattress and fell asleep completely in a few minutes. She began to descend from the sky to see that human in armor holding a shining green gem in his hands. "So here you are, it was a problem finding you. Your trace is very null." He said nothing more and less in his thoughts that Ophis, the Dragon of Infinity, an entity of dragonic energy at the beginning of its existence, took the form of an old human man, but then he decided to take a female form of a gothic girl. Ophis floated in front of him, bringing her hand closer to the Doomslayer's helmet, but her hand returned inches away. She knew that if she touched him, she would wake up and this would not end well. She brought the green gem closer to the Doomslayer's left arm so that it glowed and disappeared. To then lie down next to the Doomslayer. Watch him while she thought about the situation that the factions of the angels, fallen angels and demons must already know the aura of the human in the middle of the Gremory territory. An idea to get him into the Chaos Brigade. "No. I'm not going to risk it. He is mine and mine alone," Ophis said in her thoughts. Tomorrow she would show herself to him. Ophis snuggled up to him and he was asleep next to him in a few seconds. "I hope you liked it. For the next one it will be 3,000 words, that I promise." Doomslayer Harem. Issei, Ophis Gabriel Rossweisse. And more from a video game and OCs. See you later. Previous ch2 of 24 next, 3. New home and new life. Hello everyone, here with this third chapter. 0003. I appreciate that you are my first review despite the fact that I am the only one. I really appreciate it, and there will be a great reaction. By the way, those who read the second at the end, Ophis gave Doomslayer or Issei nothing more and less than the boosted gear, although we know that Doomslayer is a danger and death for demons in addition to the fact that he can kill a god. With the boosted gear will be a nightmare for your opponent, even if it is a Mao, Seraphim, deity or even a being like Trihexa himself. Go fuck yourself. General speaking, rip and tear, thinking. It is worse than a demon, divine beings of astral type, demonic, mentally speaking dragons or mental link. Do not provoke Doomslayer. Cell phone conversations, holographic transmissions. Doomslayer dream you could see in a large hallway muddy and bathed in blood several demons with their limbs torn to pieces from imps, zombies, pinkies and even a cacodemon with its large head in half while the rest of its head was several meters away bathed in its blood blue. In the background you could see a human figure 2 meters high with clothing that included black military boots, green pants along with a shirt of the same color with a silver metallic vest that covered part of his neck. The shape of the chest armor showed pectorals reaching to his waist and a helmet with a blue visor that contained an antenna on one side. The subject was seen breathing deeply, seeing large veins in his hands from which he used a lot of physical force, and a puncture was seen on his elbow, indicating that he had injected something like steroids or adrenaline. Quadruple A, he sighed and breathed deeply and exhaled. Footsteps of several individuals are heard next to the hallway. 6 more Marines arrive except one of the other 5 is a woman. Note: these are basically the Marines from Doom 64. Issei, a Marine with an African American complexion, arrives at his side. "I told you we could use the machine guns. Damn. How much adrenaline did you inject?" 0.95 milliliters, it was worth it, huh? Said Issei. One of the group turns around to see what Issei did and takes off his helmet to see better, showing that he is someone with Norwegian features with blue eyes, white skin and black hair. "Damn Issei, you really showed off," said the black-haired man. While 3 others were guarding, having their shotguns raised, watching the neighboring hallway, the female Marine approached the African American. "Mr. Reports from other groups report a set of those damned obesos with cannons, 15 in total at 200 meters supported by more of the damned skulls, are protecting the ammunition garrison," the woman said in a serious voice. "More mancubus and lost souls," said the black-skinned Marine, saying it with hatred. "I hate those fat asses." The black-haired man spoke. You killed 15 zombies, 5 imps with camouflage, 7 pinkies and an alpha cacodemon. One of the 3 spoke. Guys, we must continue, he said with a Latin voice. Issei recovers and reloads his double-barreled shotgun. Ready, Captain, it was that or we would continue to be stuck, Issei said with seriousness evident in his voice. The black-skinned Marine nodded and they continued advancing together with the others, being careful where they went. Out of the dream it was dawn in the city of Kuoh. The sun began to radiate its warm light and welcome a new day. Issei was beginning to come out of his dream and he began to open his eyes when he saw her, the Gothic girl. Issei takes out his EMG gun aimed at the Ophis. A great tension begins with Ophis floating in front of him and pointing at him. Until one of the 2 spoke. Put down that giant weapon, I saved your life, said the little Gothic girl with her expressionless face. What? Who are you, where am I? Issei asked with a hard voice. My name is Ophis. I am the dragon of infinity, one of the dragon gods. You are in another universe, Ophis said calmly. Another universe, and where do I come from? What was that dark void and the giant red dragon that accompanied you? Doomslayer asked again. That place was what can be called an access zone where there is nothing. The other was the Great Red, another of the dragon gods. We met you on the way. I decided to save your life. You are very curious to me, Ophis finished speaking with a silence. Issei lowered his gun and put it away. So it's another universe, right? He sees Ophis nod her head. Another date, another universe. What year was it in your universe? She asked. -2289, Issei responded. Ophis got closer, lowering himself to the ground and walking beside him. Can I see your face, if that's not a problem? Ophis asks. Issei does it by showing his face, his features, his serious and young look. I was 43 years old and you rejuvenated me at 19. How? Issei asks seriously but at the same time surprised and intrigued. I am a dragon god, we have the ability to take life as well as give it. Wait. Is there no problem if I rejuvenate you a few years younger? Ophis says and Issei can only shake his head. She touches his forehead. Issei feels a little strange. After a few she stops touching his forehead and speaks. Now you are 17 years old. Don't worry, your muscles, strength, dexterity, and so on are still intact, as are the scars on your face. I just rejuvenated your metabolism. I clarify Ophis. Where will we go? What will we do? Issei asked. He knew that he couldn't continue in this abandoned building. Ophis blinked after a few seconds. Wait here, I'm going to do something. She disappeared in a magical circle shaped like snakes and Issei was left waiting. No more than 5 minutes passed when she returned in the same circle. Ready? Come in and take my hand, the goddess Ouroboros asked. Issei put on his helmet to walk and take Ophis by the hand, his small gothic lowly hand compared to the chestnut's big hand. My name is Issei Hyoudou Blazkowicz. Issei introduced himself. The circle glowed and they both disappeared. They appeared inside a house. Note. The same Issei house from the first season. I liked the normal one more than the exaggerated luxurious 3-story one that they put in the 3rd season. Issei began to see the house around him, seeing the room they were in. The interiors such as the kitchen, the bathroom and the bedrooms, which were 3, there was everything except photo frames. I like this place, do you live here? I ask, looking out the window at the street as someone else walks by. No, we will live here from now on, said Ophis to speak again. I suppose you want to take a bath, don't you? She asked him. Yes, Issei responded to go up the stairs. He went into the bathroom and closed the door. Little by little he began to take off his preacher suit. After several seconds he could finally see himself in a mirror, his face all young and as Ophis said, he still had his muscular and toned body, being able to see scars on his face. His abdomen, back and legs. His beard was gone. He sighed, turned on the hot water faucet in the tub and got in. While downstairs Ophis was sitting in the dining room having donuts on the table. That's what she likes. Donuts, cookies, sweets, basically everything sweet and creamy. A long time later Issei comes down dressed in a bright red t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers. Oh yes, Issei, since it's Saturday it's only 7:47 in the morning and you're 17 years old. You'll have to go to school, so you don't attract attention, Ophis said and then took another bite of her chocolate donut. What? Issei said to turn to see her. If Issei, you are going to high school, to the Kuoh school not far from here. I need you to know things. 1. The city of Kuoh is protected under the protection of demons. 2. Clans Ophis. Issei, upon hearing the word demon, began to have many memories in his mind. Issei pav rip and tear, 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 rip and tear. I'll kill them all, you fucking human-eating demons, sons of bitches. Leaving your mind and point of view Issei, don't worry. I must admit that I could only see the basics that you do, killing demons with brutality, but it would be better if you restrain yourself. You will go to a school. I don't think a school massacre is a good idea. These are not like the ones you know. They are civilized Ophis. Could you see my memories? Issei, I could only do the basics and you don't need to tell me more about yourself. That's fine. See Issei nod. Issei, I want you to give me a mental practice. Think about the most powerful thing you can have or the most powerful thing you know. Ophis. Issei began to think and imagine. In a few seconds his left arm began to have a green glow on his wrist. I see you are my new carrier. Wait, Ophis? A deep voice spoke. Ophis, what is this? Who are you? Issei says to look at his left arm. He is Diedrich, the red dragon of Wales, one of the 2 celestial dragons, and he is contained in a sacred gear. The boosted gear. Ophis began to explain to Issei about the sacred gears, how the boosted gear works, its power that it had. Even to kill a god. I also explained to him about factions and faction wars, telling him about how God is already dead. Diedrich was very curious. He hoped to go back to sleep until he found a new carrier, but apparently Ophis did her thing by giving him a very curious new carrier who had an aura of having seen hell itself, a human with the power to kill a god. Something that not a single human has ever seen in his life with that kind of aura. He could not hear what Issei was thinking and he could not see his memories either. As if something or he himself did not allow it, without a doubt for him. New wearer will give him a lot of interest. Ophis also told him about the Gremory and Seatree clan who guard the city of Kuoh. Runtime. Issei was right now at the entrance to Kuoh Academy. It took him a little time to find his way. Without his suit it was a little complicated, but after almost an hour he found the school. Do you think they will accept you, partner? Diedrich said. We will see that. Red, Issei said, smiling, seeing the gem. Alright, let's go. Kill demons. Diedrich. Upon entering the school, Issei went directly to the management due to signs. He took his admission exam in less than 10 minutes and was accepted. Now he can be seen carrying a bag that contained the male uniform. Issei arrives home to see Ophis sitting on the couch watching television, watching Japanese cartoons. Issei ignored her and sat next to her. Ophis can be seen slowly getting closer to him. Mind my mind, saying it with his neutral and cold voice. I start on Monday. Tomorrow I will go buy shoes and other uniforms, said Issei, watching the cartoons with her. Do you want to buy something to eat soon? I like sweet and flowery things more than anything, Ophis. Then I'll buy you a dessert and I think I'll make myself something to eat, Issei. Okay, Ophis. Issei, despite being a marine from another universe, slaughters demons, knew that he had to get used to his new life, but he would never forget what he is, the Doomslayer, the Hell Walker, the nightmare of demons. Thinking about his Predator suit hidden in the locked downstairs basement, including also his weapons and also the crucible. Issei finally relaxed, breathing and exhaling slowly and deeply with a neutral gaze to enjoy cartoons for a while next to the goddess who saved his life. He had to admit, he is really grateful to her. His new life will give him many challenges, enemies, possible new friends and companions. He will see that as the days and weeks go by. 3rd chapter finished. Excuse me, going back to school is hard for me. I needed 1,000 more words, but I hope you like it. I will make modifications to the possible Doomslayer harem. I need to watch more animes and series. See you soon. First, previous ch3 of 24. Next, chapter 4. Factions and Gabriella's dream. Again with another 4th episode. It will be short but still enough to calm the cravings. Dado Sparrow. Don't worry, boy, don't get upset. This last semester and making fanfics is not easy at all. Go fuck yourself. General speaking, rip and tear, thinking. It is worse than a demon, gods of all kinds that are alive or locked in artifacts or sacred gears. Do not provoke Doomslayer. Conversations through cell phones, computers, technological media and holographic transmissions. Underworld. You could see a red-haired young man dressed in large elegant robes with a serious and worried look at the same time sitting in front of a large long blue-gray table. At the other end was a male person of about 40 years old with black hair. Rebellious and yellow foreparts. His skin is a little dark with violet eyes with a long red coat and well-polished black shoes. On the other side of the table was a white boy with long blonde hair wearing an outfit. Damn. I don't know how to describe Michael's fucking outfit. The three leaders of the three factions were there. Demon Searsex Michael de Los Angeles Azazel of the Fallen Angels. Behind Searsex was Graphia, behind Azazel, Rainier. Behind Michael, Dulio Searsex. I finally speak well. We are here, we have to review the important matters, said the Mao Searsex seriously. There are several problems, Searsex. 1. The Chaos Brigade. 2. The hero faction, and the last and most important, the human who was pulling that aura, said Azazel. Well, we have already talked through several holographic transmissions about the two, as well as about peace, Azazel, Michael said calmly with his kind smile. Yes, the human. Searsex paused. Apparently he appeared in Kuoh through a dimensional gap. The aura that he shot and disappeared in a few seconds had a horrendous power, one as strong as. Searsex remained silent. The Archangel and the Cadre stared at the Mao, as did their companions. The power to kill without end, gods, demons, angels, even. Azal spoke to the same Trihexa, said Azazel. Michael was impressed and at the same time a little terrified. This must be Ophis's work, there is no doubt, but for now she has not moved the pieces, Azazel. Haven't you moved them? Azazel. She brought from what she knows, if it is another dimension or whatever. A human with a terrible aura. Which can perhaps put at risk, no maybe, completely end the peace of the three factions. It may even, if I have the opportunity, destroy the underworld and heaven, said Michael with seriousness and concern. Everyone remained silent and afraid. Not even Azazel was an exception when he knew of the presence of a human who can even kill Trihexa. I will do whatever it takes to make him ally with us, if not, capture him and interrogate him, and if he is with the Chaos Brigade, finish him off, the Mao concluded. But there is still another matter, said Azazel. Which one? Michael. Kokabiel. Azazel. What about him? Searsex. Rumors and sources from my agent say that he wants to start another big war. Azazel with a serious tone. This must be avoided, so that there is peace. Michael. Don't worry, the Cadre smiled. Rainier and her friends plus the nun will take care of him. Maybe according to reports they say that Donasek and Fried are with Kokabiel. Azazel looked at Rainier. It would still be a good idea to investigate the powerful human. See Rainier. Azazel. Yes, Azazel. Rainier said to leave the place and leave. In her thoughts, Rainier wondered how powerful that human was, to even kill Trihexa. She will see that if she runs into him, and then she reaches a magical circle of fallen angels and disappears in it. Darling's 7th level. A female figure could be seen. She had bright green eyes, white skin, curly blonde hair, with a golden halo on her head floating, wearing a beautiful white suit, none other than Gabriel, the most beautiful woman in heaven and earth. Strongest seraph in heaven, a beauty from toe to hair and vice versa. She was resting in her white, silky and soft bed. Gabriel's dreams. The beautiful Gabriel could be seen in the flowers lying under a tree watching a blurry figure. This one was dark green and tall. Gabriella, are you sure you want this? We don't need to do it. A serious male voice said with a deep touch, but for her, that adult manly voice was beautiful. She smiled seeing the figure and being able to see herself a little better, seeing her own reflection in a dark blue visor, starting to caress her helmet, but she didn't see herself, she saw the man behind the visor. I don't care if you're a human, I don't care if I fall for this, I don't care about being exiled from heaven. I want you to make me yours, take my purity, I want to be with you forever, said Gabriella with her beautiful voice, taking with it from her hands the armored hand of the subject, who responded by gently taking her hand. Gabriel and the subject, Doom Slayer, get closer to each other so that she now puts him on the grass and she on top of him, getting closer to the viewer's face again. Everything in your sight shines so you can wake up. Out of the dream. Gabriel gets up calmly to stay and think. Maybe it was a dream. No, it could be the powerful human, who he was, but she had to admit that in that dream she felt something so warm and comforting coming from that guy she was destined to be with him, remembering that he called her Gabriella, her authentic name that her father gave her, but her brothers and sister called her Gabriel. She, completely blushing, stares at her bed. Kuoh, isn't that right? She said smiling. If that was what she dreamed of, despite her position as a seraph of heaven, for the first time, she felt something so beautiful and sweet. Gabriel now looks outside seeing the sun, she smiles. She had to go to Kuoh, where it was said that the human aura was there. It was not a simple dream. It was something she wanted. She smiles blushing to leave her white room. She had never felt that feeling for anyone in her life to be her first time and come from a human. After all, nothing would happen if she was absent from heaven for a couple of weeks or maybe months. Her other brothers and sisters could take care of heaven. Human world, Japan, Kuoh, Kuoh Academy, men's bathroom. Issei could be seen, looking in the mirror, looking at himself seriously, and after several seconds he sighed and left, walking through the hallways of the academy to head to room 2B with the door closed. "Well, now I will introduce you to the last new student," said a female voice behind the door. It must have been his teacher without a doubt. "Ready, partner? Diedrich, we'll see about that, Diedrich," Issei said seriously and then opened the door. A short chapter to also show what happens in the other factions. Touching on another topic, I will honestly add Rainier, Middelt, Kalawarner and Asia, and if for their luck or bad luck for you, the four will be the first in their harem. And with Gabriella it will also be part of this, but it would be chapters later, perhaps after Ria's engagement with KFC on fire. I decided to call her Gabriella, since it seems like a more feminine and beautiful name than Gabriel. First, previous ch4 of 24 next, 5. College and the Trio of the Fallen Angels. My 5th episode 1. See that I have more comments and followers. I hope you are liking this fanfic. Let's see reviews. Datasparrel. Good crossovers, keep it up, don't worry me haha. Grayson Sanders, guest, damn brutal. Tridan Mur 95. Don't worry, when the time comes it will come, and when it comes it will be a bloodbath for our marine Rip and Tear. Go fuck yourself. General speaking, Rip and Tear, thinking. It is worse than a demon, gods of all kinds alive or locked in artifacts or sacred gears speaking through mental link, dreams or thinking. Do not provoke Doomslayer. Conversations through cell phones, computers, technological media and holographic transmissions. Kuoh Academy. The students were entering the school, some alone, others with their other classmates, talking about starting their new semester. Room 2B. I hope my senses do not deceive me and it is your room. Everyone was talking, among which stood out a bald-shaved microphone head lol and black hair with bright glasses that you couldn't see his eyes, both dressed in their male uniforms. The duo of perverts from the academy, Matsuda the bald one and Motohama the four-eyed one, both always being beaten by the girls from the kendo club and punished, but for them it was all worth it just to see Ophis. They continued with their conversation without any shame, being looked at with disgusted faces by male and female students. They could not believe that these idiots could continue in this institute as if nothing had happened. There was no shortage of those who wanted to give them a mini-lesson. In front of the two perverts, a girl with brown hair in the shape of two tails on her sides, yellow eyes with transparent pink glasses in her school uniform stops. Seriously, they don't stop talking. Duo of perverts, she spoke. Aika Kiryu, known as the school pervert, famous for knowing how to perfectly calculate the manhood of each male student at school with her glasses and great eyesight just by looking at their pants. That doesn't interest you, Aika, said the scrape with anger. I heard that today there would be new students, said a boy. Yes, the same as me, both girls and boys, but mostly girls, says another in a kind way without perversion. Do you think there are new ones in our classroom? Said a girl. Only 4, 2 girls and 2 men. No one knows the name of the second man. When I asked the director about him, the director's wife blushed, said another guy. I hope he's not a pervert, said another girl. Outside room 2B. A teacher in her thoughts for her, what she saw a few minutes ago left her curious. Few minutes teacher's room. All the teachers could see the direct's wife, who of course, despite being almost 50, looked very pretty. She was on the floor hugging a folder, all happy and blushing. Madam, that folder, said a teacher wife of the director. What are you doing? Said a teacher. Ah, my, the most handsome boy in all the land, the most beautiful and muscular and handsome man in the world is here, and he is a student, said the director's wife. For many teachers this left them intrigued, for the teachers a few blushing. She stood up and showed the contents of the folder for the student to see. Name: Issei Hyoudou Blazkowicz. Age: 17. Place and date of birth: XX, 1999. Parents: take care of yourself, the student does not want to talk about it. Admission grade: perfect without any errors or minimal spelling errors. And more data, but his photo, his face all serious, left all the teachers in love and the physical education teachers jealous, leaving him shocked with his muscles. There is no young man in this world who is so muscular and tall. Height: 2 meters. Current time: living room 2B. Interior: good morning, students, the teacher said kindly. Today we will introduce our 4 new students, please receive them kindly, she said. I hang out, a normal and calm new boy, 2 somewhat cute new girls and the last. Well, now I will introduce you to the last one. Receive him with a loud applause, teacher. After this the door opened, revealing, by the gods, everyone was speechless. It was a boy 2 meters tall with well-marked and big muscles, wearing a uniform with good brand sports shoes. His face had 2 scars, his serious brown eyes and unruly brown hair. Everyone remained silent. The girls were amazed. Aika was shocked just by seeing where her crotch was for a few seconds. It can't be, she said to whisper from his manhood to his. You know, testy, we're big. Aika was in complete shock. She couldn't understand anything. Her mind only stayed looking at the new student's crotch. Motohama and Matsuda were gaping in anger watching how the girls were all blushing at him. The girls only thought that Prince Yuto had been dethroned. His height, his expression that was scary, everything about him was incredible about this boy. The teacher was blushing when she spoke nervously. Kuoh, what's your name? Teacher, Issei Hyoudou Blazkowicz, teacher. The boy said with a voice so cold and serious but at the same time polite. Everyone couldn't mentally process anything. Their minds were blank until one student spoke up. How old are you? He said. -17 years old, Issei with his usual voice. A girl speaks. Where do you come from? Girl, I come from Europe, specifically Poland. Do you have a girlfriend? Another girl, no, Issei. Why did you move here? Another girl, I live alone on my own and I have Japanese nationality by birth, Issei said with his usual voice. Any other question, said the teacher to accidentally stumble. Issei reacted quickly to grab her. She blushed being between his strong, marked and muscular arms. She could only imagining the rest of his well-worked body. The rest of the Issei class was assigned a seat next to the window, listening to the class and taking the occasional note. The other students stared at the girls and Aika more than anything, still not being able to process, looking almost like an impact meme. Playtime. Issei was watching a women's volleyball match on the sports court. But then he saw them, 2 students sneaking through the bushes to a wooden building. The Kendo club, which is why I had asked him about the clubs and that it was mandatory to join one, is occupied by girls, but I knew that this bald guy with 4 eyes was going to do something. He got up and walked slowly and silently to look out and see what they were doing. Oh pies, my god, Katace has beautiful breasts. Motohama, are you recording this? Of course yes, said the one with glasses. Damn creeps, spying on a woman, he thought to himself and then cautiously turned around and entered the Kendo club. Inside the Kendo club, a girl with short pink hair and eyes of the same color wearing a Kendo suit. For Katace this day was strange. In her classroom there was a new student who she could only describe as burning. Just by seeing him in his eyes she feels what I do inside her. Murayama, her best friend, had not come today because of the flu. She would not think what Katace would tell her about what she saw this day in class. She is now training with her students, all of them women, because it is not known if it is fortunate or unlucky. There are no boys, most of them are perverted and stupid, and then she sees the new boy again. All the other students see how Katace, the student who has been in Kendo the longest, stares at nothing. That's what they thought when they see the new students. Some, who are from the same class as Issei and Katace, blush seeing him. He only remained silent by placing his finger on his lips, pointing to the mini wooden hole. He approaches slowly and then hits the wall and goes through it with his arms and holds someone. He forces them in, breaking the wall to pieces so that the duo of perverts are discovered. Katace is just shocked now. That wall is made of strong wood and the new man destroyed it with his arms. Sick idiots. How dare you see a girl's privacy, disgusting animals, Issei said with a harsh voice to grab the one with the scratched neck and lift him up. The poor guy just hits the fool and the one with glasses with his other arm without using pressure. Issei saw Katace. What's your name? Issei Katace, she said. Do you know them? Issei, they are the duo of perverts, they are damn sick. They always spy on us like this, and even when we are naked, he said with anger, seeing the 2 of them being suffocated. Time advance. In the end the duo was beaten by the girls. Katace really thanked the brunette from the bottom of her heart for what he did, and the others did too. Already finishing his first day of school, he was leaving when he was observed by a redhead from afar. A cult club building for Rias. That young man was curious. She had heard that he had caught the perverts and taught them a lesson, although that boy had no aura except that of a simple human. They knock on the door. Come in, Rias said. The door opened, revealing a girl with light skin, purple eyes, short black hair, wearing glasses, Sona Citri. That boy, Issei Hyoudou Blazkowicz, there is almost nothing about him, There is no information about his parents or relatives. He lives alone in a house 3 kilometers from the school Sona. He has no abnormal aura Rias no, a normal human, only yes, with good strength Sona. Akano enters Rias, we have a serious situation, good afternoon Sona Akano. Sona nodded her thanks. Which one? Rias there are fallen angels around the city. Eliminating users of sacred gears and more stray demons Akano would be serious. Rias is left thinking Akano. Call the others, we will monitor the city again. Sona friend, let your entourage and you monitor your area, we will do our part. Okay Rias. See you tomorrow Sona. After this, quietly left, closing the door. Out of school Issei stood watching the people, the cars. The buildings, an entire civilization, not like when the demons arrived in his universe. Killing almost all of humanity, destroying cities, turning buildings into ashes, and people were either devoured completely or in its worst case it was possessed. Leaving cities invaded by zombies with firearms ready to kill you at the first opportunity they have. Carrying everything from a medium pistol to a damn rocket launcher or a machine gun or in its worst case a plasma rifle. The demons preferred possess soldiers than civilians. Out of his mind and back to the current time he continues walking when he hears Diedrich. Partner, be careful. A fallen angel is approaching you. The Welsh dragon spoke. Issei looked back to see a girl with dark hair, light skin, purple eyes and a good physique. Don't do anything partner, Diedrich she approached him a little while being nervous. Hello. I just saw you and I liked you, would you like to go out with me? She said nervously. What's your name? Issei suddenly said with a hard voice. Yuma Amano come accompany me to my house Issei took her hand. Yuma or Rainier felt something inside her being. Rainier Pav for God's sake, that boy, holding my hand. My interior feels so warm. Who is this human? Time and hours later now Rainier was in complete shock, being on the floor in some pain with her light spears destroyed, seeing the boy from earlier having a shotgun pointed at her, now having the boosted gear next to her, nothing more and less than Ophis. I give up Rainier, she knew it was best, she didn't want to die, it was better to say who she was, because she was here and etc. She finally spoke sitting in the dining room, Ophis with her usual expression looking at her and Issei still having his shotgun pointed. In the end Issei lowered his weapon and spoke about him. He was the human with the aura, this surprised and blushed Rainier, such a sexy and handsome boy. Ophis saw how she saw him and increased his murderous aura, implying that Issei is hers, and nothing else from her. Ophis will soon be open-minded about letting her Doomslayer have his harem. Yes, I never thought how strong your human is. The leaders of the 3 factions are really afraid. Can I stay the night until my mission is accomplished? Rainier. It's no problem for me, I'm not cruel enough to leave a woman sleeping in the dangerous streets at night Issei said to leave the fall blushing. I called 2 more friends, they live with me in an abandoned church Rainier said to see Issei saying yes. Rainier will open a small magic circle near her ear. Ray? Says a childish female voice Calawarner and I are waiting for you. What are you doing? Middled, change of plans, we will not sleep in that abandoned church. Come where I call you, let Calawarner come anyway. Okay, your voice sounds different than it does now. If you knew what you were missing Mitt Rainier says smiling. Minutes later a circle appears revealing 2 female figures. One of her has long blue hair with good fringes showing both eyes, wearing elegant red sexy clothes and black high heels with a serious face. The other is a 16-year-old girl dressed as a maid with short blonde pigtails, blue eyes and a mischievous, childish face. They are both amazed to see Ophis, and, the tall and strong boy, both inside surprised. In the end they will stay for the duration of Kokebiel's mission as well as that of the nun Asia, who, according to Issei, told him that they would try to take away his sacred gear, causing his death. Later night Issei can be seen wearing blue sleep shorts with a white t-shirt lying on his bed in the main room leaving Ophis to lie next to him. The 3 falls were looking at the boy, without a doubt they were completely attracted to him. Ready, 5th chapter ready. I hope you like them until next time. First, previous ch5 of 24 next.